What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Wise Wolf podcast. I I apologize. It's been so long. I've wanted and I've had I have a notebook full of ideas of what I want to do, but I've just been insanely busy, and I know that's not an excuse, but I need to get better about making time for things that are really important because so many of you guys have reached out and asked when are you doing more podcasts, or oh, your podcast is really helping me, and I need to make more time for it because I feel like it's really helping other people, and that's what I want to do. So yeah, let me just put out into the universe that from now on I'm going to put myself into these podcasts more for you guys. So today I'm kind of just going on a whim. I didn't really have anything planned, but I had this piece of my notebook that I've written down things that help you awake your mind, body, and soul, or also I could rephrase it as saying things that help raise your vibration. So some people might think well, why would I want to awaken my soul, or what's good comes out of it for me, you know? And the reason you might want to awaken your soul and your mind, or try to raise your vibration, is because if you want to achieve the things you want to achieve, or find your dharma, which is basically your life purpose, or if you just want to manifest things insanely easy, jump timelines and get to what you want and to stop being stuck in the rut, these are things that will help you to get there. The reason why you have to raise your vibrations to get exactly what you want and become who you want to be, future you, is because future you, when you think oh, I want this much money, I want to live here, I'm going to be doing these things, in order to become that, you have to match the vibration of future you, or else it's never going to happen. If you don't make changes to become a better person, to have a better schedule, if you don't match future you, it's never going to happen. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. I kind of just have them jotted down. So I'm just going to go through them and then kind of add comments as I go. The first, I don't have these marked in a specific way, but the first one is the best one. It's meditation. Meditation is just, it brings you closer to you. Our minds in today's world are going from this thing to this thing to this thing. They're constantly busy thinking about things all the time. We don't have time to think about nothing. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you just say you took a walk in the park, or you laid under a tree and your mind is just free and clear, that's when you're going to create great ideas in your head. That's how you're going to just basically connect to the highest version of yourself, your soul, which your soul is pure. So the more you connect to your pure soul, the more happy you're going to be, the more you're going to realize what you need to do to succeed. I don't know, just it's really, really hard to explain, but meditation is literally the number one thing you need to do to become the best version of yourself, to manifest literally anything you want, to just awaken yourself. Meditation is where it is. And I recommend 30 minutes a day at the least. I feel like a good 30 minutes a day would be good. And I also want to mention the meditation, at first, it is so hard. You basically just think about nothing. Do it sitting up, because if you do it laying down, you might fall asleep, which I learned that the hard way. I would constantly fall asleep or lucid dream because I would try to meditate laying down. But yeah, basically, I feel like it totally depends on the person how long this could be of a process for you, but I feel like the first 3 months of me meditating was extremely stressful. I would just think about horrible things. I would just have anxiety. I would just be what is the purpose of this? I'm literally thinking and stressing and just doing nothing. That will pass because your mind is not familiar with being quiet. Your mind is not familiar with being still. It's going to find something to think about and fill the void of you just sitting and doing nothing, which could lead you to face problems that you have been hiding or problems that you have pushed down. They're going to resurface. So that's just part of the process, is going through like everything that's been like stuck inside of you. But then once you get through that, which I don't think you'll be through that completely, but once you get through that like really hard lump of the chaos, it's gonna start bringing like purity to your life. I could go on and ramble about meditation forever, but yeah, do your own research. There's a ton of books, other podcasts about meditation. I think on my podcast as well, I might talk about meditation. Anyways, see, I told you I'd ramble about just the smallest little things I have written down. Number 2, body movement, yoga, or exercise. I've been doing yoga kind of on and off, I guess, for like as long as I can remember, like 10 years maybe. Yoga is great. Even if you're just like getting up in the morning and stretching, or stretching before going to bed, really great. And I feel like yoga can really help. But I have not been exercising since high school. I did like weight training classes and soccer, all that jazz in high school. And then the year after I graduated, had my son, and it was extremely, extremely hard for me to like mentally and physically have the time to like set aside for myself to meditate. To exercise and meditate. It's just so hard being a single mom and trying to find that time. But a couple months ago, I've been trying to be like, all right, I'm gonna wake up early, like 5 a.m. and do my meditation, read my books, do my like weightlifting. So yeah, on and off, I would try to like wake up early and do this, and like personally that was not working for me. Waking up in the morning is really hard. So what I've done recently is I've been putting my son to bed at like 8:30, and then around 9 o'clock, 9 to like 11 or 9 to 12 at night, I'm like doing all these things, and there was always time for me to do it. I just had to find the right time. So that's what you need to do. If you say I'm too busy, I don't have time to do that, you do have time, and you really do need to make time for yourself, because if you don't, you're not gonna like progress with your life if you're not spending time for you. Tip number 3 is, I just wrote breathe. This can go along with yoga, meditation, all that stuff, but during the day I realized that like my pulse will be really, really strong. I'll get anxiety, and if you just think during the day to just breathe deep breaths, just like I usually do when I'm doing dishes, I'm just like, I'll just practice breathing techniques when I have like time to like do it, I guess. Like I feel like doing the dishes, I do it when I'm sewing. Sometimes I'll just like forget, but I try to like think about it. Or something I also do is I'll move in like slow motion. I feel like it looks so funny, but I'll be like doing the dishes, like scrubbing just like really slowly, and then I'll be putting the dishes up. And basically when I'm like moving in slow motion, I'm retraining my anxiety brain, because I had anxiety really bad. Still do a little bit, but it's basically just retraining myself to slow down and be present, because just in today's world, we are so fast-paced, doing everything as quick as we possibly can, doing this and doing that, and trying to have just like this busy schedule, and it's just not good for you. Not good if you want to become like more of a person than just living the American dream. If you know, you know. Okay, so for my next tip, I wrote food and water. This could be also an entire podcast episode, because there's just so much I have to talk about and explain, because people don't realize, like, are you checking your water? Like, I live in an apartment, and when I got here, I knew I had to check my water, but I was like, I've always lived in houses before, and I know in houses you have to like take care of your own water filtration system most of the time. And in apartments, I'm like, oh, like that will be handled for us. Like they maintenance, that kind of stuff. But I checked our water and it was on the verge of being like toxic water, which is crazy because in America, the water standards that they have are so low. Like you can basically be drinking toxic water and it'll like still be legal. Like I don't know. It's crazy. I get like a really high quality water filter. It's like $30 a month for this filter, but it is so worth it to be not drinking water with toxic stuff in it. Um and for the food part of that, I so much I could say. Do your own research. I'm a vegan for a lot of reasons, but also I eat only organic food as of recently because I did a lot of my own research. When you're not eating organic food, when it doesn't say organic on the label, they are spraying your crops that goes into cereal, pizza, literally anything and everything you eat comes from some sort of plant for the most part. When they're spraying those chemicals onto your food that gets made into your food, you can't just wash that away. That stuff is in there, and that I'm not gonna go on this whole spiel, but it causes so many problems, like cancers, diabetes, low blood sugar, heart problems, reproductive health problems, like the things that it could do to your body when you're not eating organic food. So please look into that if you can or have the time. And I know organic food can be expensive, but paying $1, $2 extra for an organic label really it makes a difference. If it means it's gonna extend your life, make you not get like a cancer, or if it means it's gonna save the chances of you having children, I think it's worth it. And it tastes better. I can actually taste, like, especially in strawberries, when I have regular strawberries versus organic, it's so different. Like I can actually like taste the strawberry. It's crazy. Next tip: entertainment, TV, and music. Music is a big one because I listen to music a lot. I was listening to like Suicide Boys and like I like rap. So most of rap is like just talks about like drugs and like effing people and just like all these horrible things, and I just like honestly liked the beat. I don't really listen to the lyrics too much, but like even if you don't really like know the lyrics, subconsciously your mind can hear it and that will affect you. If you're constantly thinking about all these horrible things could be drawn to you. That is the law of attraction, and I have another podcast episode talking about the law of attraction and how it's proven to be true. But yeah, this also goes for movies. If you're watching a lot of drama, it could really result in having more drama in your life. If you're sitting on social media on your phone and you're looking through all those profiles and you're like, this could downgrade on how you feel about yourself. So just when you're indulging in like TV, your phone, just be kind of like mindful of what you're indulging in. Like I still go on social media, but I'm making sure that I follow like inspirational people, things to inspire me, not to put me down. I changed my entire music genre once I started learning about how it really affects you. I really recommend Russ. He's getting pretty bigger now, but he has a lot of music that's like very uplifting and talks about like manifesting your dreams and following your heart, yada yada. Maybe instead of a movie, you could listen to a podcast. Just be mindful of what you indulge in. Another tip is manifestation / law of attraction. I already kind of talked about this. Another tip is trash, recyclables, and reusables. You might be thinking, how does recycling or your trash depend on if I can manifest my dreams? It does. It really does. Whatever you put into the universe, it's going to come back to you in a different way, or like maybe a similar way. So if you're like doing all these good things, it could, like, say you're complimenting people and like being very kind, giving gifts, it could come back to you as someone buys your coffee at Starbucks. Like, the universe always returns what you give to it. So if you're thinking like more about a greener planet, like you're using paper bags instead of plastic bags at the grocery store, you're picking up trash outside that you see, just be more mindful about how you're treating Mother Earth, and be more mindful about how much trash that you personally use. Maybe you don't get a straw when you're out to eat at a restaurant. These little things are going to come back to you. If you're treating people, the planet, your work with more respect, that respect is going to come back to you. Another thing that kind of relates is BPA, toxic chemicals, shampoo, soap, clothing. This is a lot, but I feel like the more you awaken to like the world around you and like becoming more spiritual, you will realize like, does this container that I'm buying, is it BPA free? Because if it's not, that plastic is going to deteriorate into your food and cause so many health issues for you, which can not only affect like your body but your brain. What kind of shampoo are you using? Are you using a really cheap bottle from the dollar store? Because if you're massaging that stuff into your head, that stuff can absorb into your skin, thus affecting mind and body. The list goes on. Like bleach, people don't think that bleach can really affect you. So many people clean with bleach products. That stuff can mess up your brain and body. Just be more mindful with what you're putting yourself around. If you're painting, does the paint have chemicals in it? That could mess you up. It's just like being more mindful about literally everything. I feel like that's what most of what my tips are about, is just like questioning literally everything, because the world has evolved so poorly, especially in America. Forgiveness. If you forgive people, if you're not holding that hate in your heart, the anger, there's going to be room for growth for yourself. So just forgive them. You don't have to talk to them. If you don't talk to your parents, they like did you dirty. Forgive them. Kind of forget that like it ever happened. Just like whatever, forgive and forget. Doesn't mean you have to go be BFFs with your mom or hang out with them. Just because you forgive them doesn't mean you have to connect with them again. Another tip is nature and forest bathing. I should do an entire podcast about how nature affects you, but just go out, take a walk, even if it's like a 10-minute walk. Try to go out in nature every single day, ground through your feet, take your shoes off. It is scientifically proven that nature lowers stress, anxiety, lowers your chance of getting cancer. There is so many just like benefits of it. There is a book that I read, it's called Forest Bathing. I think it has like green trees on the front. It's super interesting if you want to look into that. Drugs and alcohol. This one's kind of iffy. I wrote this a long time ago. I haven't drank in 2 years. You can listen to my podcast about how becoming sober changed my life. And I don't believe like taking Advil and like doing like those kind of meds that like can be prescribed to you. But also it's like, I know people smoke Mary Jane, and that like can really help so many things. I know people like do mushrooms, and just, I know there's some like, I don't know if those are classified as drugs, but just make sure you're not abusing it. Yeah, I guess that's it. Just make sure it's like actually good for you. If you're drinking alcohol every day, or drinking alcohol because you feel like it helps you with your anxiety when you hang out with friends, try to not do that. Try to rely on yourself to help yourself. Yeah, that could go in a whole spiel, but I'm gonna move on. Radiation protection stone. I tell you to be mindful about what's around you. Some people don't even think about this. Being around microwaves, TVs, phones, laptops, literally anything with like electric in it, that electric is emitting throughout the air like in little waves. And the more you're around it, your chances are higher of having health conditions. I think it's like heart problems, chances of cancer, brain fog. There's this stone called shungite that you can wear. Like, I think you can buy bracelets or necklaces. I'm usually wearing mine. It's not good. Gotta practice what I preach. I'm not even wearing my own shungite, but I do have a necklace. I should be wearing it. I feel like it would, if you don't like wearing a lot of jewelry, I feel like you could get one that you could put on your ankle, so that way you can like have it on and like not even think about it really. I know there's like things like stickers you can get to put on your phone or like put them by your electronics, and these are proven to work. It's not just like, oh, this amethyst crystal can make you less anxious. Like, no, the shungite crystal is proven to take away emissions from electronics to affect you. Like, it is, yeah, look into it. Detachment and being present. This is probably the thing I struggled with most, still struggle with. There's just so many things I want to do, want to be, want to explore. There's just like, there's list and list of things I wish I was doing right now, but you need to detach from this different version that you wish you could be and just like be thankful, be appreciative of where you are. Be present when you're washing the dishes. Feel the warmth of the water on your hands and be like, I'm so grateful that I have warm water to wash my dishes. I'm so grateful my fridge has food in it. Like, we don't think about these things, and we really do need to think about it, because I feel like we're on social media, we're like, oh, this person's so pretty, they're traveling in Bali, I wish that was me. Or like, this person has so much money, they just bought like this mansion. Like, we're just constantly thinking of that stuff. But I don't know exactly the percentage of how much it is, but I saw a quote somewhere that was like, if you have food in your fridge, you're like wealthier than like 70% of the population. Like, it's insane. There's so much poverty and homelessness. Like, if you have a roof over your head, food in the fridge, like, you should be very grateful. If you have a functioning body, you should be grateful. If you can see, like, it's just the little things that you need to think about, be grateful for, and just like try to be present. My last tip, ending with a bang. Everything bad in life is a lesson. Even if you don't know what lesson you learned from that bad thing, every bad thing is a lesson and something you had to go through in order to become who you are today. Say you think about this horrible thing. I can surely think of mine. Horrible thing. I actually can think of multiple, but if that thing didn't happen to you, you probably wouldn't be where you are today. You wouldn't be as successful as you are today. Or if bad things are happening to you, they need to happen in order for you to improve and become the better version of you. And it's like a similar bad thing keeps happening again and again to you, and you're just like, oh, like, this bad thing keeps happening to me. I have such bad luck. Like, you just kind of think like that. The reason is, bad things keep happening to you is because you haven't learned from them. Once you evolve yourself and start thinking and knowing that things work out always in your favor, things are always working out for you, you will become who you're destined to become, and you just need to enjoy the journey. Once you start realizing that, bad things are going to stop happening. Like, it is insane. I don't remember the last time a, like, quote, bad thing happened to me. I literally cannot remember. Everything is starting to work out. Every part of me is growing because I have shifted my mindset. But this did not come, like, easily. I've read hundreds of books within the last year, podcast after podcast after podcast, meditation, literally all of these things that help raise your vibration. Once you're starting to fly high, there's a word for it. I think it's called Kyra. It's like a flow state of being so vibrationally high that literally magical thing after magical thing starts happening to you. I feel like that's where I'm at. So I want to share with you guys how that can happen to you as well. That's why I created this podcast. Yes, so I think that is all. I got most of them, all of them. I think I'm going to make more podcasts going into detail about specific ones of what I've listed. So if there's something you want me to go more in detail about, just leave a comment below, or you can email me, tell me like, oh, I want to know more about this, and I will try to get a podcast out about it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and it would mean a lot to me if you left me a rating if you're on my Spotify or if you're on my YouTube. If you just gave the video a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.